The richest Colombian cartel king Pablo Escobar made over $60 million per day. Life of Pablo. In the heart of Colombia, Escobar built an empire so lucrative that it was estimated he made over $60 million per day at the height of his power. From humble beginnings to becoming the wealthiest criminal in history, his narrative is an intriguing study in the pursuit of power and wealth. Hello and welcome back to Eccentric History. In this video we will explore the life of this Colombian drug lord, investigating his money-making machine, the Medellín Cartel. Prepare to immerse yourself in the story of a man who, for a time literally, had more money than he knew what to do with. Early life and inception of criminal activity. Pablo Escobar's journey from humble beginnings to becoming the richest cartel kingpin in history is a captivating tale that showcases the transformation of a boy from poverty-stricken neighborhood into an influential and notorious figure. Born on December 1st, 1949 in Rio Negro, Colombia, Escobar grew up in a modest family, experiencing firsthand the hardships and inequalities that plagued his community. In his childhood, Escobar displayed a mix of ambition and ingenuity. Even as a young boy, he demonstrated his entrepreneurial spirit by selling stolen tombstones and counterfeit lottery tickets. These early ventures hinted at his future in the world of illicit activities. Escobar's entry into the criminal underworld took a significant turn when he began working for Alvaro Prieto, a well-known drug smuggler. Through his association, Escobar gained valuable insights into the lucrative world of drug trafficking. He quickly recognized the immense potential for profit in the illegal drug trade and embarked on a path that would forever alter his life. Escobar's ability to consolidate power and orchestrate a complex web of operations marked him as a shrewd and ruthless leader. He employed various tactics, including bribery, violence, and strategic alliances to protect his empire and evade law enforcement. With his keen business acumen and willingness to employ extreme measures, Escobar established himself as an influential figure in the criminal underworld, forever leaving his mark on history. The early life and inception of Pablo Escobar's criminal activities laid the foundation for his unparalleled rise to power. Through a combination of resourcefulness, ambition, and calculated risks, he would go on to shape the global drug trade and amass a fortune that seemed beyond comprehension. But as his wealth and influence grew, so did the dangers and consequences that would ultimately bring about his downfall. Medellín Cartel, the money-making machine. The Medellín Cartel, under the leadership of Pablo Escobar, was not only a criminal organization, but also a highly efficient money-making machine. The cartel's structure and operations were meticulously designed to maximize profits and maintain control over the global cocaine trade. With its influence extending far beyond Colombia, the Medellín Cartel became a force to be reckoned with in the criminal underworld. At its core, the Medellín Cartel operated as a highly organized network, with Pablo Escobar at the helm. Escobar's strategic vision and ruthless tactics allowed him to establish a well-defined hierarchy within the cartel. Each member had a specific role and responsibility, ranging from production and transportation to money laundering and enforcement. This hierarchical structure enabled the cartel to function smoothly and efficiently. The influence of power of the Medellín Cartel extended far beyond the borders of Colombia. With a vast network of connections and alliances, Escobar and his associates had a significant impact on the political and social landscape of the country. Through bribery and intimidation, the cartel exerted control over key government officials, law enforcement agencies, and even the judiciary. This influence allowed them to operate with relative impunity and hindered efforts to dismantle their criminal empire. One of the most astounding aspects of the Medellín Cartel was its unparalleled revenue generation. The cartel's cocaine operations were a lucrative source of income, with estimates suggesting that at its peak, the Medellín Cartel made over $60 million per day. This staggering figure highlights the scale and profitability of their operations. The demand for cocaine in the United States, coupled with the cartel's ability to supply it, fueled their financial success. The cartel's extensive distribution networks both within Colombia and internationally allowed them to establish a dominant position in the global drug trade. The revenue generated by the Medellín Cartel was used not only to fund their criminal activities, but also to invest in infrastructure projects, community development initiatives, and philanthropic endeavors. This strategic use of money helped solidify their support base among the local population, further cementing their influence and power. The Medellín Cartel, with its structured operations, widespread influence, and immense revenue generation, was a true money-making machine. However, behind the scenes of its apparent success, the cartel's activities had devastating consequences, including violence, corruption, and the erosion of societal values. The Richest Kingpin: Wealth and Expenditure of Pablo Escobar. As the leader of the Medellín Cartel, Pablo Escobar amassed a staggering amount of wealth, making him one of the richest kingpins in history. An analysis of Escobar's wealth reveals the mind-boggling extent of his financial success. Estimates suggest that at the peak of his empire, Escobar was making over $60 million per day, which translates to an astonishing $22 billion annually. This immense wealth allowed him to wield significant influence and power, not only in the criminal underworld but also within Colombian society. Escobar's lavish lifestyle and extravagant assets were a reflection of his immense wealth. He owned numerous properties, including luxurious mansions, ranches, and even his own private zoo. His residents were equipped with opulent amenities such as gold-plated fixtures, marble floors, and extravagant furnishings. Escobar spared no expense when it came to indulging his extravagant tastes. The investment of cartel money was not limited to properties alone. Escobar also acquired a vast collection of high-end vehicles, including sports cars, vintage cars, and even a personal fleet of helicopters. He purchased rare and valuable artifacts, including pre-Columbian pottery and archaeological treasures. Additionally, Escobar had a penchant for luxury items, such as designer clothing, jewelry, and watches, further demonstrating his fondness for opulence. Impact of Escobar's wealth on Colombian society and politics. The immense wealth accumulated by Pablo Escobar had far-reaching impacts on Colombian society and politics, leaving a complex legacy and still resonating today. While his wealth was acquired through illicit means, Escobar also aimed to boost efforts aimed to portray Escobar as a benefactor to the Colombian people, but they were also used as a tool to gain political influence and protect his criminal empire. Analysis of Escobar's philanthropic ventures reveals a calculated strategy to win over public support and create a favorable public image. He invested heavily in infrastructure projects such as building schools, hospitals, and churches in impoverished communities. Additionally, he sponsored charitable initiatives, including the construction of housing for the poor and the funding of sports programs. These philanthropic endeavors were a means for Escobar to garner loyalty and gain a sense of legitimacy among the Colombian population. However, Escobar's wealth also brought him significant political involvement and influence. He used his immense financial resources to infiltrate political circles, bribing politicians, judges, and law enforcement officials to protect his criminal activities. Through his extensive network of corruption, he was able to manipulate the political landscape, ensuring favorable outcomes for himself and his cartel. The socio-economic impact of Escobar's money on Colombia was profound and complex. On one hand, his illicit activities fueled violence, corruption, and social instability. The drug trade led to the rise of powerful rival cartels, contributing to a wave of violence that engulfed the country. Moreover, the massive influx of drug money distorted the economy, leading to a rise in money laundering, inflation, and unequal wealth distribution. However, it's important to acknowledge that Escobar's wealth did have tangible positive impacts on certain communities, particularly in the areas where he invested in infrastructure and social programs. The duality underscores the complexities of his legacy, and his philanthropic gestures were often used as a facade to conceal his criminal enterprises and gain political power. Downfall: losing the $60 million per day empire. The downfall of Pablo Escobar and the disintegration of his $60 million per day empire marked a pivotal moment in the history of the Medellín Cartel and Colombian society. Escobar's reign of power came to an end as a result of various factors, including legal issues, imprisonment, and the concerted efforts to dismantle his criminal organization. Analysis of the legal issues surrounding Escobar reveals the relentless pursuit of justice by Colombian and international law enforcement agencies. Escobar faced numerous charges including drug trafficking, money laundering, and murder. The pressure mounted on him as evidence mounted against him, leading him to an arrest and subsequent imprisonment in 1991. The dismantling of the Medellín Cartel was a concerted effort by Colombian authorities, with support from the United States. Through a combination of targeted operations, extradition of key cartel members, and the seizure of assets, the authorities dealt significant blows to the infrastructure and operations of the cartel. The multi-pronged approach weakened the organization and disrupted its illicit activities. Tragically, the downfall of Escobar culminated in his death in 1993. While evading capture, he was finally cornered by Colombian security forces and engaged in a firefight. Escobar's death had profound economic implications, as it marked the end of an era characterized by the vast wealth generated through illicit activities. The loss of Escobar's empire created a power vacuum in the drug trade, leading to further violence and instability as rival cartels fought for control. The economic impact of Escobar's death reverberated through Colombian society. The country experienced a period of uncertainty as it grappled with the aftermath of the cartel's collapse. The dismantling of Escobar's empire resulted in the loss of jobs, disrupting the drug trade, and caused economic fluctuations in various sectors. It also highlighted the urgent need for the Colombian government to address the social and economic disparities that fueled the rise of organized crime. The downfall of Pablo Escobar and the disintegration of his empire marked a turning point in the fight against drug cartels in Colombia. While his reign of terror had far-reaching consequences including violence and corruption, the demise of Escobar signaled the beginning of a new era of law enforcement and efforts to combat organized crime. And that's all we have today for you at Eccentric History. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you again soon.